I am so excited. I just got in my villaging pieces. Let's see, I've got people, house, I'm ready to go. How to open these? Knowing how to open up villaging products can be new territory, especially to somebody new to villaging. In this video, I'm going to show you how I open up Department 56 and Lemax pieces as safely as possible. Each end of your house is folded with a piece of tape, so you're just going to remove one of the folds. You'll put your fingers on the inside and then pull out. It's not that sticky. Just to get it started. Sorry, I can't do it from that angle. Okay. This can go in the trash. So now you're going to slide this bag downward, like so. What to do with this? It'll keep things from scratching the top of your sleeve. And so you can save it or not. I typically don't, but that's totally up to you. Child choking hazard. So here's our piece. This is called the sleeve. It's usually cardboard with a really fine film on it. As you use your pieces over and over again, you'll notice that these corners will get kind of dinged in. It's totally fine. It happens. Just don't worry about it if these corners get kind of frayed over time. That's just the sleeve doing its job. All right, so what I do is I always pull the sleeve up. Now some sleeves will be tighter than others. This one's coming off pretty easy because it's new. For older pieces, sometimes if you can grab hold of the corner and pull up, it pulls a little bit easier than from, say, the middle. So we're gonna pull up from here. And it'll catch, it's totally fine. So the sleeve tells you what it is, kind of keeps the styrofoam safe. This keeps your piece safe. So usually there are some markings on the piece that shows you kind of what this is. And sometimes it's really hard to judge what's top and bottom. Don't go by the sleeve necessarily. Sometimes I've been surprised, but for the most part, your sleeve will tell you where the top and the bottom is. But if you're unsure, pick up your piece and you can kind of do a test. This is the bottom. It's just heavier than, say, this side, okay? Now, your styrofoam will usually have a piece of tape that is wrapped completely around it on all sides. This tape is pretty important. I don't recommend that you remove the tape. For one thing, it will tear off this protective film on your styrofoam. So what you want to do is keep the tape in place and cut it. This is where your X-Acto knife, single blade tool, and hacks that I'll show you later come in handy. Now, before we begin cutting, there are two ways to cut open the box. There is the remove both sides technique, which we can totally do. And there's also a book technique. That's kind of my word for it. I don't know what the technical word is, but that's what we're going to call it in this video. So the book basically means that you're going to have one edge of your box connected so that you fold it into a book, which is great because as you're opening up many, many, many villaging pieces, these things can get separated, and it's kind of funny to try to find out where they went. It's kind of a puzzle. But what you want to do is just make sure that you decide before you start cutting if you want both of these to be away from each other or the book technique. I'm going to start with the book. This is the bottom, this is the top. And the book technique works best if you keep the top intact. And I'll show you why. What you're going to do is you're going to put your blade in a corner, and you're not going to go like this. What you're going to do is you're going to slide it and then cut through the tape. Don't poke it like this. You don't have to add a lot of pressure. You're just sliding up and down until you feel the tape release. That's it. So now that we've done that, I always angle it, slide the knife down. And we are only like a 1/4 inch in, and we're literally sliding. You could even rotate your knife like this and slide it through if you're afraid that it's going to cut anything. All right, this is the bottom. we're gonna continue cutting. Sometimes if you're new to this, the X-Acto knife can actually cut through the styrofoam. So just be a little careful. As I'm looking at the camera, I kind of did that. So just be careful. Just watch what you're doing. Okay, ready? We're not gonna flip it with the bottom on top. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start back on this side. So I've got my X-Acto knife this way. Again, I'm gonna slide very gently, and I've already cut through the tape. I'm gonna rotate my X-Acto knife this way so I don't cut through the styrofoam. And I'm gonna go all the way down. Don't cut your table. All right. Now, magic happens. We're going to lift this over so you can put your fingers in between. I don't know what's gonna be inside. It's like Christmas. All right. You're just gonna lift up gently. Okay. The reason that we don't cut the bottom is if you look at most villagey pieces from the side, most of the time the bottom part extends out further than the top of the piece. You really won't find many pieces that are slender at the bottom and they go out towards the top. So that's why we do it this way. Had we done it the other way, your lid would have folded down like this and can easily get caught. Now, if you don't like the book method, you can just cut this away. Sometimes your tape will come off a little bit, totally fine. You can reinforce it if you want, or you can just leave it. This comes in a set, so there's some accessories with it. So for the most part, I remove the house, the biggest piece first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab it by the sides. And I'm gonna pull out like that. Most Department 56 pieces will have a plastic or a paper covering over it. And they'll usually have the back and the bottom are covered, and there will be an opening either at the top or on the side. For this case, we're at the top. So we're grabbing the piece from the side and the bottom. You'll see me do this a lot in my demonstrations. It's just because I have really big man hands. If you're new to villaging, I recommend that you always grab by the side and by the bottom. And obviously, I would never grab by the little chimneys. Those things do break. So just make sure that when you handle your piece, you always grab from one of the biggest ends. So you're just going to put this back in and fold. Now, for most pieces, now you'll have a light cord that you'll see, which will have a little insert here. You can pull this out. You may or may not want to keep the baggie, totally your choice. And then you have your light cord. All right, and then we have an accessory piece. So, you look here. There it is. I'm grabbing from the bottom. This, and then I just fold that in so it stays nice. And then look and see if there's any other accessories in some of the nooks. So here we do have an accessory here. So now we're going to open up a Lemax piece, which is just a little bit different, but for the most part, same technique. With these, instead of a sleeve, we've actually got a really, really sturdy cardboard box. It's thicker, it's a little bit heavier. It will still get those scratches. So we have this little, you see it? So this little part right here, how I open it is I put my finger, oh, that's the wrong finger. I put this finger, actually I use this finger, but I put a finger and I slide that way. Okay. And then I'm gonna go not halfway, but right here on both sides, fingertips. And I'm gonna pull it up and then the sleeve. So you can see, oh, let me show you the difference. So if you can tell, there is a very clear difference. Wow. Look at this. There's a strap. How nice. We're gonna pull the strap, but if you didn't have a strap, this is how I open up these type of boxes. How lucky are we? I love this. All right, so if you didn't have this convenient little strap here, what you would do is you would put your fingers where this little flap is. Then you're going to turn it this way and press it a little against your body. See, I'm grabbing part of it here with this finger. I'm grabbing the sleeve here, and I've got the sleeve. Look at that. And I've also got the sleeve here so it's not going to catch it. And then I'm going to gently like that, pull up. There are some different ways you can do it. You can do it at angles, but that's the safest one. I'm so impressed with this strap. Okay. Oh, and it just opened. Okay, so here we go. Each piece is different. This is a great example. All right, so, okay, good. We have an electrical cord that's connected to the piece, totally fine. Pull this plastic out and then remove the piece. So we're gonna grab here. We're going to put our arm here and pull up. And always keep an eye on this cord. When the cord is attached to the village piece, it's really easy to lose sight of it and it hits your piece and breaks it. So if you have a cord that's connected, just be really, really mindful of that. All right, so now we're gonna fold this down. We're gonna grab from the sides, let that fall, move it. There we go. All right, so obviously there is something missing from the inside of this. So what we're going to do is check our box. There's a little compartment here, and it also has tape over it. Ta-da! Oh, ta-da! Okay, so we've got our the electrical cord here. And we've also got some little baby accessories here. What we're going to do is you're gonna grab by the paper, which is really hard to see. But basically what I did is I grabbed by the paper and I'm pulling out. And I am grabbing the piece from the bottom. And usually that is how the piece is put into the box, by the bottom, so that you're not grabbing these little heads here and breaking them off, decapitating the pieces. All right, so we'll do that for all of those. Okay, that is a Lemax accessory. We have a Lemax house we're going to open up. So again, we're going to push down, out, down and out. Grab here and here. I usually don't grab here, I don't know why. Okay. Oh, look. Those Lemax people, I just love this. Okay. I'm going to push these down. Go sideways. Let it fall, hit the table. Now for most pieces, the top will be at the top of the box. We're gonna just test it. Actually, this is the bottom. No tape. Okay, and then we've got our piece here. You can see, so we're pulling out from the sides. Paper opens from the top. We're rolling the paper down, just making sure that we're not injuring anything. The reason that I roll the plastic down, if we didn't do that, I would have to hold it from the top, and then I would have to do this. And I don't like to do that because styrofoam, because once I broke a piece like that. So that's why I like to roll it, because I feel like I have more control with both hands rather than one hand. All right, here's our piece. And open up a Department 56 Accessory, and this is where I'm going to show you my little hack. Okay, so we did the X-Acto knife. Now I'm going to show you utility knife, same thing. And I'm going to show you what to do with the scissors. Because sometimes when you're villaging, you just need to be really, really, what's the word I'm thinking of? Creative? Innovative? You just make things happen. All right, so we've got 2 ends with the fold and the tape. We're gonna put our finger in the tape and we're gonna fold the plastic down till we've got it loosened. And then we're gonna just tear that tape off. You can do this. You can find the end of the tape and you know, kind of scratch it like that. Inevitably, you're gonna ruin that plastic. It just comes off so easy. Okay, keep or not, your choice. All right, we've got our sleeve. For an accessory, they usually fall out for the most part. After you've kind of repacked these, sometimes they do get really, really frustrating. So again, what we're gonna do is corner and then pull. Newer accessories will be a complete square with the top cut out, like so. If you go back to older villaging pieces, they're different. So this is the style that is right now. So what we're gonna do is we're going to open up the scissors and of course be really careful. And we're going to do the same technique as we did before. We're going to put the scissor in and we're going to get it broken, just barely. Then we're just gonna run the scissor down the side. It kind of glides, okay? And then we're gonna just do the corner, glide, and I barely got it in there. Then we're gonna book it. There's our piece. We're gonna pull out from the paper. Sometimes they like to get stuck. Never grab by the head. You'll always grab from the bottom because that's probably where it's getting stuck. We've got Grandpa Munster here. And so for the paper, I'm gonna put that back in and just smush it. Lily now. So we're gonna put our finger in the tape. We're gonna fold, get it broken, and then we're going to push the tape out. You're gonna be a pro at this. Got the tape, here's our piece, here's our sleeve. Oh, lilies, yeah. So for this, I'm gonna grab the corner and we've done the X-Acto knife, the utility knife, same thing. We've done a pair of scissors, but now we're gonna get a little more innovative. But now we're gonna use a pen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna poke the pen, and you should hear it when it gets in there, okay? Now we're gonna slide the pen down, and it cuts it, okay? So now we're just gonna round that corner. Sometimes if it doesn't round, poke it, go all the way to the end, and go all the way to the end. Yeah. And then poke it again. And the pen method does cut it nicely. Again, we're just separating the tape. So, right? Here we go. So the last method I'm going to show you is like if you're really in dire straits, you don't have an X-Acto knife, you don't have a utility knife, don't have a pair of scissors, you don't have a pen, what can you use? Okay, here we go with this tape. You're not going to believe me. Or maybe you will. Let's see if that's going to give me any problems. It's easy, right? Let me go get my hack. Sometimes you might have just bought a village piece at a store and you're sitting in your car and you cannot wait to get home to open it and you have nothing else. You don't have an X-Acto knife in your car, you don't have a pair of scissors in your car, but you have a car key. This is my last hack I'm gonna show you. All you have to do is get through the tape. That's how easy it is. Slide it down. Slide it down. It really does just stay in the middle. We're gonna open this one all the way. There's our piece. And there you have it. These are the ways that I open up my villaging pieces. If you come across an older villaging piece, it might be a little bit different. The box might be a little bit different. It may be taped, it may not be taped. So just use your best judgment when you come across your piece. I find with the X-Acto knife, you can easily trail off and cut through your styrofoam. So my first choice would be the butter knife. The utility knife is fine. It can cut through, if you're not careful, it can cut through all the way to here, and you could hit a piece much like the butter knife. So you just have to make sure that your depth is only about this much. I showed you the scissor technique, showed you the pen, and then the keys for when you just can't wait to get home to get to that butter knife. So we went over the ways that I open up my boxes. We have removing the lids completely, or the book way. We went through the houses versus the accessories, and we went through two brands, Dept 56 and Lemax. So you should be able to know how to open up your boxes as safely as possible. And for me and the Munster family, happy villaging!